So life is full of distractions. And so I want you to think about what are your goals and what is it that you see for yourself in and out of the pandemic. You just saw a video. Here I am, 77, just a few months ago, about 3 months ago, I connected with my birth family. And to see a picture for the first time of my birth mother and father, this thing called life, it's just so unpredictable, and so that in the middle of all the stuff that we have to do, and the things that you have to do in terms of your personal stuff, in terms of your business and the people that's a part of your team, and all of the unexpected distractions that we just don't see coming. This is a very challenging time. And what we have to do and know is, first of all, we have to have a program for ourselves to handle what's going on. And I want you to write this down. When things go wrong, don't go with them, because they're going to go wrong. That's going to happen. And so having a strategy, a game plan, a ritual to train your mind to observe things and not buy into the things that you see, that's major now more than ever. This is no time to lose it. And so when we look at all the conflict and all the things, the confusions and the violence and the spike in suicide and politicians lying out of their necks every day and say, don't believe your lying eyes. You say, come on. This is a different kind of place. And so this is a time that you have to begin to focus on you. This lady, she was working in hospice, and she was interviewing patients who just had a few weeks to live, about 2 months to 3 months. And she asked them, what do you regret about your life? And the majority of them said that I wasn't true to myself, that I wish that I had done the things that had been true to me. It's been said that most people die unlived lives. They die a life that's not them. And so I started examining, where am I now and what am I to do with what I'm going through, just with one of my children who's bipolar schizophrenic. How do I handle that? I call Fav and say, hey, I need some help. Do you know anybody that can help me? Because here I am, can motivate people around the world, and my son, look like I made him by myself, can't hear my voice. So that's very challenging, and it's very humbling. So part of what I want to share with you, develop a ritual for you. I'm the fix-it person, but I had to begin to anchor myself in the words, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I can't change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And if that wasn't enough, I'm at Cancer Centers of America last week, and they said, Mr. Brown, we know we gave you the Perseverance Award for 29-year prostate cancer conqueror. But we see something here, because I just said, let me just check myself out and see how things are going. And they said, your white blood cells are low. We've not seen this. And I remember reading a book called Who's the Matter with Me? And what I realized, that the shift that has taken place in my health that I'm now proactively dealing with, it is a result of stress, that I was allowing the stress, dealing with my son, dealing with the business and all my children, and all of the things that I just have to deal with. No, excuse me, not have to deal with, that I get to deal with. I want you to write this down. Operation Clean Slate. Come on, somebody. Well, I'm coming for you right now. I started saying, wait a minute. A lot of stuff that I had on my plate It wasn't my stuff. And so I decided Operation Clean Slate. I started getting stuff off my plate, my children, my brothers and my sisters and friends. My mother had a sign, my adopted mother had a sign on her mirror, and it read, "Oh Lord, help me keep my nose out of other people's business." Now I understand. I want you to write this down. We live our lives forward, but we understand it looking backwards. Now I understand what Mama meant, because I was putting my nose in a lot of business that was not my business. Operation Clean Slate. So you have to sometimes stop, look, and make an assessment and ask the question, what am I to do with this? Where am I going? What's going on with me? Who am I really? Who have I been being? And I have been being Superman or Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save the day. It's Mighty Mouse. He's on his way. I said, no, I resign. I can't even call Superman to help me out. You know why? Because they eliminated the telephone booths. He can't even change clothes. I told him not to remove those telephone booths. He's not going to risk being arrested for indecent exposure, taking off his clothes in a telephone booth. Now, that's not an option. So, so here we are. And we have to deal with this stuff. And so, number one, you got to be true to yourself. You got to have a ritual to take care of yourself. And you know this. And it's very important. And sometimes we need to be reminded of what we know. I'm getting still, and I'm reading the Bible, the Torah, the Kabbalah, the Holy Quran. I'm reading everything. When they said, Mr. Brown, your PSA, which stands for prostate specific antigen 2400. Wow. And I say, whoa. But guess what? I got it down. To below 0. Then it went up to 4. And so I'm working on it again. But what I know is I'm minimizing the stress in my life that I brought into my life. I take responsibility for where I am and this situation. That's an opportunity to prove my discipline and my commitment of making choices, that I would be here and at 77 making the rest of my life the best of my life. And I know that many of you have decided in this mastermind, that's where you are. And because we can't do it by ourselves. And so building mental resolve. I get up early in the morning, listening to things to fortify me, to begin to strengthen myself mentally and emotionally and spiritually. Here's something else. As you begin to dig in and start thinking your life, rethinking it and looking at yourself, why is that important? Because this is a new space that requires a new skill set. Einstein said, the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. And so Les Brown had to say to himself, hey, look here. If you do the same thing that got you here, that won't serve you in this new space where we are. So self-awareness is very important. Am I being me? Am I being true to myself? Am I doing the things that I need to do to keep myself on the path, to do the things that as I go forward where I am an asset to my family and not a liability? Here's something else. Whatever your goal and dream is, I can share with you based upon my experience, it's possible and it's necessary. You got to decide, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this happen. But not just that, but also who you have to be in order to do that. Because at the end of the day, and you know this, being with Fab, that people don't live life as it is. You live life as you are. If you're not playing with a full deck, if you are not getting a full night's sleep, if you don't have the clarity of mind to make good decisions that will serve you and your team and your family, that's going to be challenging. You become a liability. As Jim Rohn said, is your life a warning or is it an example? A warning of not to do or an example of what to do? So taking care of yourself. And I want you to write this down. Live your life, and this is where I am. And I really want you to put this someplace that you can see it. Live your life the way that you want to lead your life. I was talking to a room of entrepreneurs, and I asked them, if you knew you had just a few weeks to live, what would you do differently? And I was surprised that the majority said, I would quit my business, and they start thinking about things that they were going to do. And here's what was fascinating. There's a young lady in there named Pauline Ahi. Pauline was born with no arms and no legs. And so as I was passing her table in this training I was doing, someone said, did you hear what Les said? Write down the things that you would do differently if you knew you just had a few weeks to live. She said, yes, I heard him. And what most of them did at the table, they talked about quitting their business and start traveling and just doing a variety of things. And what she said, I would continue to be me. And when they heard her say that, these people who had written out all the things that they had taken on and all the things that they said that they would step away from, they begin to rethink themselves. And I asked also the second follow-up question, what are the biggest challenges that you're facing right now? Pauline did not have one thing on her paper. No arms, no legs, married with children. And they asked, you gotta have some problem. You don't have no arms. You don't have no legs. That's gotta be very challenging. He said, I don't have no challenge. I find a way to live life on my terms. Whoa. That's major. She said, I've set my life up, my environment, the people in my life, the things that I'm doing. There's nothing that I'm doing that's outside of what I want to do. I'm doing the stuff that's me. I'm being true to me. That's some lesson in that. See, if I knew I had a few weeks to live, I'd do more Zooms and give more motivational speeches. I told my kids, if they tell you I'm dead, don't let them embalm me for 3 days. Sneak in there and put a microphone in my head and my hand in the morgue. And if I don't grab it and say, you got to be hungry, you call your brothers and sisters and say, Dad's gone. Yeah, but, and if my casket give me a microphone or some Colonel Sanders chicken, I'll be fine. This thing called life. So just determining who are you now and who is it you need to be for this vision that you see of yourself, because life is very challenging. It's sometimes up, sometimes down. Sometimes things go well, and sometimes they don't go so well. It's a roller coaster. And so be true to you and decide the things that you envision for yourself, the reason that you're there, the goals that you've set, the relationships that you're building. Make sure that it represents who you are and the things that you envision. You got to have a mindset that I'm going to do this, just like we got started out. Some stuff happened. It's called life. Think it not strange that you're faced the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might. You will have tribulations. Here's something else. Determine what is it that you really want. That's major. What do I really want? And when I started practicing, and I got this from a friend of mine, business partner, Celeste Johnson, Operation Clean Slate, I took a lot of things off my plate, and I'm focusing on doing those things that's in my heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. Spending more time with my children and my grandchildren and my 4 great-grandsons. And so when you look at the things that you want, creating special moments, it's been said, is not the number of breaths that you take, but the number of breaths that takes, the number of moments that you create that takes your breath away. And that's what I'm looking at and focusing on. I remember when I read this article about Howard Hughes, who at that time was the wealthiest man in the world, and they were trying to rush him someplace on an airplane, and he died. And someone asked the question, how much did he leave? And somebody answered, all of it. And so when we look at ourselves, we got to ask, what's really important? Making a decision, and this time that you're there to rethink your life. What's necessary for you that you want to do before you check out? I remember being at Caesar's Palace, and Frank Sinatra was at a table seated next to me, and at that time I was married to Gladys Knight. I was the conductor of the midnight train. Come on now. I wasn't one of the pips. I was the conductor. Come on. And I heard him say to a young man, live each day as if it were your last, because one day it will be. And so, and I want you to write this down. And this is a biggie for me right now. A friend of mine, Samantha, and I said, how you doing? And she sounded so bubbly and so happy. I say, what's going on with you? Why are you so bubbly and happy? And I haven't seen you in a minute. She said, well, the reason I am, and I'm like this every day. And I said, why? She said, this is a non-refundable day. Whoa. I don't have time to be depressed and stressed out. It's non-refundable. I'm going to make the best of it. I hear you talking about making the rest of your life the best of your life. She said, that's real, because each moment, each day is non-refundable. I reminded myself that every hour, the time that I invest, the conversations that I have. I won't take a phone call unless it's positive, unless it's purposeful, unless it's productive, unless it's going in the direction of where I'm going. I'm not just going to give my time away. I'm 77. No, homie ain't playing that. I'm going to leave my life the way I wanted to do something more meaningful and make a greater impact. I still have some more in me. Simba, you're more than that which you have become. I still believe, and I'm sure some of you believe, that you still have some more in you, that the best is yet to come. Here's something else. Your why. What has driven me and caused me to become the person that I am was I wanted to take care of my adopted mother. You know, my birth mother, she gave me life, but my adopted mother, she taught me how to live life. I feel like Abraham Lincoln has said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. And Mama, she was always engaged in life. She was always looking for ways that she could do something differently. It was not unusual for us to come home and Mama, as small as our house was, that she had reconfigured the furniture in the house. And I remember one time coming home and there was a big window in the living room leaning up against the wall. And I said, Mama, why do you have this window here? Well, they tore this house down and you say you're gonna get me a home. Well, I got this window, so if you're gonna build me a home, I got a window that could fit. I said, no, man, I'm not gonna buy a home that don't have windows in every room. Come on. And she most certainly accelerated me to getting the home that I promised her that I would get for her. But she had the vision saying, I'm going to participate in this and what you're going to do. I'm going to do my part. And so what reason you're here, you've decided, hey, I got something else I want to do. You've got some bigger goals that you want to achieve. And write this down. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I got 3 brothers, 2 that I didn't know. And they look at me and say, whoa, how is it possible? You're just like our birth mother, and you didn't know her. And our grandmother, and you didn't know either one, didn't see them. How is it possible? You're just like them. And the reason is, one, they didn't have any goals beyond their comfort zone, and still don't. And they're fine with that. And that's okay. And the other thing is that people say, well, it's in your genes. No. I remember spending a whole day with Maya Angelou, and Maya Angelou said, it aggravates me when people say I'm a natural communicator. She said, show me a natural heart surgeon. She said, no, I'm trained. And so if they put in the effort and the time like you're doing to get training and upgrade my knowledge, my relationships, expand my vision and dreams, I would be living just a non-consequential life. I didn't want that. The reason you're there, that you want to make a greater impact with your business, with the people that you're working with, to bring out the best in them, but also be the model, not just the messenger, but the message that you want to bring out the best in yourself, to challenge yourself. Iron sharpening iron. That's why you're there, creating collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. That's why you're there. You know there's something in you that says, this is not just it for me. There is more for me. People can be distracted by what's going on in Ukraine, by what's going on with the virus. But as for me, I know that this is my life right now. There is no duplicate, and I want to maximize it. Give yourselves a round of applause for reaching for your greatness. Do that right now. Names, because I love these. I believe in giving people credit for what they say and write, and so I will have the names tomorrow, or maybe I think it's Thursday. Thursday we have our session. Here's another one. Don't let other people's failure create fear in you and going after something. I'll never forget when I decided that I was going to become a motivational speaker. How many people said, do you know how many members there are in the National Speakers Association? I said, yeah, around 3,000. Is that right? Do you think you're the first one that decided that you're going to be known nationally and internationally? Do you? You're not that naive, are you? Over 3,000? You have nothing going for you. And you will be the only fly in that glass of milk. There's no way you can compete with them. With PhDs and MBAs, people from around the world. Who are you? Les Brown from Overtown and Liberty City in Miami, Florida? Who are you? You nobody. You don't have their money. You don't have their contact, their relationships, their corporate experience. I wouldn't waste my time if I was you. Well, thank God you're not me, because guess what? I'm going for it. I'm going for it. See, sometimes people allow other people's opinion, other people's experiences or fears to govern what they will attempt to do or not do. Just because somebody else failed at it doesn't mean that you're going to fail at it. And even if you do fail at it, change your approach. Don't change your decision. Did you just hear what I said? Oh, that'll preach up in here. Change your approach. Don't change your decision. Alexander Graham Bell was asked the question, how did you continue after failing 10,000 times? And he said, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 ways that didn't work. He changed his approach, but he didn't change his decision of what he was working on. He's on fire today. He's on fire. Yes, Tyrone, I'm on fire. What do you think about that?
I think you doing real good. Keep on, Mr. Brown.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, Tyrone is a squirrel that comes up on the west side of my house, and he talks to me in the morning. He talks to me and walks with me, and he just tells me various things and teach me how to speak squirrely. Now, here's the other thing. When you got something to do, I want to talk to you and give you another point of what to do in and out of the coronavirus. Yes, you need to have a strategy. Three kinds of people coming out of this: millionaires, billionaires, and witnesses. You listen to me, you will not be a witness. You're going to become a millionaire or billionaire. Which one do you want to be? A witness, like the majority of people who are tuning into entertainment? Write this down and put it someplace where you can watch it and look at it and read it and remind you. What you tune into, you turn into. I've made several million. Now I'm working on the billion, because a good man, not a sperm donor, a good man, although he didn't go there. No, he did not go there. I did. As my mother said, shoe fit, wear it. And if it's not your shoe and it fits, wear it anyhow. That you got to have something that you decide, this is how I'm going to make my mark. I was chosen. I was sent here with gifts and greatness in me. And I'm going to make a presence. I'm going to make a dent. Am I going to solve all the problems? No, I'm not trying to play God. No. But I can do something. You have greatness in you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. And you, in order to break out of where you are now, it takes everything in you. Everything. You have got to decide, no, I want to do something else. No, find something that you love, not just anything. Find something you love. I love speaking. I love helping people. This is the calling on my life. And I spent time to learn. When you are not willing to learn, you got to go get a job and keep it as long as you can until they let you go, until you are replaced by artificial intelligence. The coronavirus is not the only thing that's eliminating jobs, or until your company closed down because of the effects of the coronavirus and because of the decisions of you can't gather but a limited number of people in a certain given area. That's too precarious. That's too unpredictable. It's better to have something else going for you and not need it than to need it and not have it. No, don't wait for the hammer to drop. Why, Les? Because you can't think. You can't think. When you get fired, you can't think right away. When you get behind on your bills, you can't think right away. If you get 3 months behind your bills, trust me on this, know this, been there, bought the t-shirt. It takes more than 3 months to catch up. I'm not making this up. I'm telling you what I know. When you don't have money, you don't get 31 days out of the month or 30 days. You get 2 weeks out of the month. What do you mean? Let me repeat. When you owe money and you don't have enough money coming in, you don't get 30 days out of the month. What happened to the 30 days? Well, you get 2 weeks. Well, what happened to those other 2 weeks? They're gone. You start saying, didn't I just pay this yesterday? I know I just paid this yesterday. I'm telling you, time moves by faster when you're under pressure, when you're under the gun. That's why you have to be proactive. I want you to put voice in the comment section, if you agree with me, if you understand what I'm saying, if you can feel me in your heart, if you don't want to live life cringing and, oh my God, I got knots in my stomach. I don't want to open up my email. I don't want to receive a text saying that my job has been replaced and sent overseas, or they have eliminated my division. Well, I've been laid off because of the coronavirus. It's the time to be inspired and motivated to be your own boss, to create your own business, to use your ideas and your thinking. You are more talented than you give yourself credit for being. People say necessity. Necessity is the mother of creation. No. Refusing to accept things as they are is the mother of creation. Refusing to put yourself in a vulnerable position where somebody else is controlling your destiny. Refusing to be a part of the journey of the broke. Refusing to be lazy and ignorant of your potential and not having the courage to bet on you. Refusing to recognize the reality that you're made in the likeness and image of God and been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. Refusing to acknowledge that you're more than a conqueror, that you can do all you can do and God will do what you can't do. No, that's not you. You're listening to me. Everything I'm saying is common sense, but not common practice. I've been stuck. I know what it feels like. The things I should do, I don't do, and the things I shouldn't do, I do. I know if I had my life to live over again, I could have done more than what I have done thus far. For a long period of my life, if I had to characterize it, I was crazy with a K. With a K. I'm not proud. I'm telling you. Maybe something wrong with me now with this flat top from the 80s. You know what? The afro is the only hair that defies gravity. Everybody else's hair lays down on their head, but the afro, I mean, to have a flat top, come on now, with no glue, no super glue to make it stand up. Oh, behave, hello, whatever. To do something that you love. If you enjoy making people feel good, if you enjoy working with kids, if you enjoy helping people learn how to create a bridge from where they are and to the next greatest version of themselves, if you want to do something that gives your life a feeling of significance, of purpose and meaning, of love, of joy, that you look forward to doing it. You know how many people are stressed out now? Listen, even our children, it's affecting them, the little teeny weenies. It's affecting them. I saw this movie. It's a jaw dropper. It's called, what's it, Social, oh my goodness, it escapes me right now. Social something, it's on Netflix. Just Google it. Then somebody knows. But the social dilemma. You watch that, it will scare you. That's why it's important that you work on you to improve you. We're being programmed over 5,000 advertising hits on our minds every day. And when you look at the algorithms and our telephone and the computer and all the various platforms that are designed to suck us in and to control our behavior, to manipulate us, occupying our minds every day, fighting for territory in our minds every day. This is a different space. This is a different space. You want to be vigilant. Be you not conformed to this world. Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. You want to unplug from this thing called life. You don't want to be conformed like everybody else, listening to what everybody else listens to. You monitor your thinking. You monitor. Be proactive in programming your mind, because if you don't program it, trust me on this, it will be programmed. Live life like you mean it. It will be programmed. One sickness, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. I resigned from the Ohio legislature. I just got reelected my third term to go back to Miami to take care of the woman who God took me out of my biological mother's womb, but placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. This has made me proud. Oh, she covered the ground she walked on. That's what the lady from hospice said when she took her last breath, as I held her hand. And what I learned about my mother, the spirit of independence, of believing in yourself. I learned that from her. And she wanted to raise children. She never had any children herself, but she said, I want to share my life with children. And a reporter asked her, this is after I got a show called The Les Brown Show at King World. They paid me $5 million to do. They asked her, how did you know you can raise 7 children by yourself? She said, I just believe the Lord will make a way somehow. Les, I don't know how to do what you do, so I didn't either. You've done a lot of things that you didn't know how you would do it. There's a reason we're told to walk by faith and not by sight. People say, well, if I see it, I believe it. No, if you believe it, you see it. Live out of your imagination. Live out of your imagination. Don't judge according to appearances. You have the potential to do more. That's why they say greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. What do you mean by that? You do what you can do to the best of your ability. And God, I know this to be true, will do what you can. Angels will be dispatched to serve you. Doors will be opened that you did not see. But you mess with me. Don't argue for your limitations, because you get to keep them. I'm telling you what I know. You want to get fired up about your new future. You want to turn that television off and get moving in the direction of the next greatest version of yourself, because you have greatness in you, and you cannot tap into that greatness operating within your comfort zone. When you're willing to bet on you, when you're willing to become a risk taker, this God said, if you're not willing to risk, you can't grow. And if you can't grow, you can't become your best. And if you can't become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? Hello? You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. Not living a stress-filled life. You can't be happy when you're filled with anxiety. Double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. No. You want to be focused on creating the next greatest version of you. No. Hearing my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. You are here to do the greater work. No. This is not it for you. This is a new beginning for you. You were born to be happy and successful and prosperous and healthy. You're born for that. And you have to have a spirit of optimism. You have to have a kind of energy that says, it's not over until I win. Watch you want to get motivated? Oh, I'm just so tired. Yeah, whatever. You've done things where you say, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. You weren't. You did what you can do. You got into position and God did what you could not do. If you feel me in your heart, if you're ready to do something that you love, if you're ready to use your story and the things that you've gone through and the things that you've overcome and to help people and to make money too. And if you're ready to get your hustle on, nothing works until you work. They told me, oh, Les, you'll never be successful being a motivational speaker. There are over 3,000 members of the National Speakers Association. They're not 3,000 Les Browns. You think I care anything about that? You think I give a fat rat's butt about that? Oh, there are 3,000 members of the National Speakers Association. Well, guess what? None of them Mamie Brown's baby boy. None of them have a flat top like House Party, Kid and Play and I'm Kid. Oh, behave. It's not true because I said it, but I said it because it's true. Oh, behave, baby. You make me angry. I have so much fun. It's great to be me. If you love having fun, listen, get around the right people. If you love having fun, get coaching and direction by someone who's doing what it is you want to do and has accomplished a great deal and has a program to teach you how to do it, to shorten your learning curve. Spend more time working to improve yourself. Spend more time working on yourself than your job.